You are watching Trading Gist TV. Remember to subscribe and thumbs up the video. Thanks for clicking. Today's video is an interview that Solomon's Temple did with a lady in South Africa called Lucia. How a pastor raped her, and just because he wanted school fees, the man said, "Come to my house, come and collect it." I mean, he thought that the wife is there. No, but let me go. It's Papa. No, that the man is going to do what he's supposed to do. When you come here with video and we're telling you about all these false pastors and prophets, people don't understand. Maybe your sister might be going through this, your brother might be going through this, you don't know. At times you'll be thinking that why is it this? They have been abused by certain pastors in their churches that they call Papa and all those things. How she even aborted children, this pastor? Listen to the interview and leave me a comment below. What do you think about this interview?
He calls himself a senior prophet. Now this is him. He calls himself Senior Prophet Kizito E. Amadi. No, he leads a so-called church called Disciple Church of Christ. He called it a land of miracles and testimony. He's located in number 127 Claim Street in Hillbrow in Johannesburg, South Africa. He's originally from the eastern part of Nigeria, from the city of Owerri in Imo State of Nigeria. You can see him there in the church. This is him praying for people, laying hands on people. This must be as recent because you can see people wearing masks. And this is also him right here, kneeling down, obviously in the church, ministering, and this is him. This is the official logo of the church, and this is the name of the church, Disciple Church of Christ, DCC. And he is said to be the senior prophet. They call him Senior Prophet Kizito Amadi. Now, Lucia, how did you end up in this church? Let's start from there.
Okay, I joined the church. It was in 2016-17. I was invited by a lady from church. A lady from inside came outside and invited me. Then I went and joined in the church.
And? Are you there?
And I joined and I became a member.
Yeah,
I joined and I became a member for like a year. And then I became a worker. I was an usher just for a few months. And then from then on, he removed me from the ushering department. He said I must join the media department. So After joining the media department, that's when he got to have access on me. Because now the media department works hand in hand with his office.
Okay. Now, what attracted you to the church after visiting, and you decided to make the church your home church? Why? What was the attraction?
Okay, when we first joined the church, my mother was very sick to the urge that when we are going to the hospitals, they are not able to cure her. So it got to a point where we even lost hope, and we thought that maybe we might lose her. She had a leg cancer. So we got to the church and the men of God prayed for her on the first Sunday that we entered, and she was healed and her health was also restored completely. So after all that, I just thought, why not make it my home? Because at the moment I was not worshiping anyway. So since they could heal my mother, I felt that maybe this is the right church. That's where I belong. Then we all decided to just reside there.
And your mother is healed until today?
Yes.
Okay. So you decided, because you saw obviously, a miracle happen in the life of your mother, and you were serving at the media department. What was your responsibility at the media department?
I was the leader of the media department.
What do you guys normally do with the media department? What are some of the responsibilities that you do?
We take pictures, we take videos for the service, we post, we handle all the social medias for the church, and yeah.
What was your relationship with this pastor from From when did you start getting close to him, or him getting close to you, that he noticed that you were part of the church? And what sort of trust?
On the first day when we came in, on that Sunday when my mother was healed, after the healing and everything, he requested to see me and my mother in the office after the service. And then we went to the office after the service, and then he told my mother that I'm going to become a great woman. I'm going to be someone that is going to be known. I'm going to be an evangelist. I'm going to travel all over the world. And then he told my mother that his health is restored completely. And then he mentioned that I must serve God because there is something that God has for me. So I must serve God. I must become a worker. I must make sure I'm in church every day. So from then on, that's when it was just a father and a daughter thing, you know?
Yeah. So it was a father and daughter things. You felt you could trust him, and you didn't suspect anything.
No, I did not suspect. I did not even think that he might be that type. You know, I did not suspect anything, because when I looked at him, I saw a father. I just didn't see anything else. I just saw a spiritual father, and that was it. So I did not have any suspicions in me.
And you are 22 years of age. He is about 39, 40 or so.
Yeah.
And and he is unmarried. Let me make it clear to everybody here. He is unmarried. He is not married. He doesn't have kids, I believe.
Yes.
And he's unmarried and without kids. And did you think he was attracted to you in any way, or maybe sexually, or he was attracted to you for a relationship, or you were attracted to him maybe also?
No, I did not have any thoughts like that. I was not, and I believe that he was not also, because I looked at him at the spiritual father angle, nothing else. So I never had those thoughts running in me.
Now, until you sent your mother a message, and this is what you said to your mother. You said, "This thing has been eating me and killing me inside. It's been happening for too long now, and I'm tired. I want you to believe me because it happened." In 2017, Prophet deprived me of my dignity. We were in church. He called me and made me sit on his lap, and then he started brushing me and told me that he will be gentle. Ma, I was scared, because that's the same thing Ubaba wanted to do to me. He tried, and then in 2018, he took it by force. We were in the office. No one was at church. He literally took my virginity, Mama. I wanted to confide in you, but I was scared. He made me to swear not to tell anyone, Ma. I got pregnant and discovered it after 3 months. I told him that I'm pregnant, and he made me to abort, Mama. I was pregnant of twins. Prophet made me to drink something to terminate the babies. I broke down a lot, Mama. He will be sleeping with me, forcing me. If I say anything, he will curse me. I was scared, Mama, but after fishing out, I was actually not the only victim. This is quite a lot of intense words from you. Your mother, the first time she got in touch with me, sent me this. And when I read it, I was really sad. Tell us about what happened.
Okay, so it was 2017/2018. We were in the office, because by then I'm already in the media department, and I'm also working in his office as a secretary. So we were in his office. It was after the workers' meeting. Usually every Monday we have workers' meeting in church. So he actually waited for everyone to leave after the workers' meeting was done and everything. And then he called me in the office and he asked me to sit on his lap. I don't know, but there was just nothing going on in my mind. I went and sat on his lap, and then he brushed me and told me that I should relax. And then before you know it, he attempted to kiss me, and then I tried to fight him and all that. So on that very first day, it ended up in a fight, and he never managed to do anything. And then on the second day, he still did the same thing. So on that second day, he literally took my virginity. And then after taking it, he just acted like everything is normal to him. Like, I don't know, but he just literally acted like he had the right to do that. And when he asked me, he said to me, was it painful? And then I just looked at him and I responded to him and I told him that yes, indeed, it was painful because he took it by force. There was no agreement. I mean, I was 18. I think I was 18 or 17 then. He took it by force. There was no agreement. And then time went by. He will just literally call me in his office and pretend like there's church work that we need to discuss. Before you know it, he's forcing himself on me. And then he's going to penetrate and all that. And then I fell pregnant. And I didn't know I was pregnant, but then he knew. And he said to me, your face is changing, complexion, this and that. And then he said to me, I must go and test. I went and tested. I used that Kia Blue test that states how many months pregnant you are, because that's the one that he told me to go and buy. So when I saw that I'm 3 months and I went to the doctor also to confirm, because he asked me to go to the doctor. I went there and they also put me in a sauna and I saw that I was pregnant and the doctor mentioned that it was 2 embryos, which was twins. I told him, and then that same night he made me to drink a substance. I didn't know what was that substance, but he told me that it's good for detoxing the body. That was what he said to me. He said it's good for detoxing the body. And then I went I went home and then I could feel some crucial pains on my abdomen. And then on the next day, I told him what I was feeling when I was at home because he asked me. And then he told me to go to the clinic and abort. I need to abort the child. I can't keep this child. He gave me excuses like you are still in school because I was in matric then. He told me that you are still in school. We don't want people to suspect this and that. So he just gave me the money and then I went to the clinic here in Hillbrow. It's a run clinic. I remember the doctor I went to and everything. So that doctor is the one that has my medical reports.
How old were you when that happened?
I was 18.
18, okay.
So I did that and terminated and all that. And then I came back because the first termination, it's like there was some complication that happened because I got sick, like literally sick for two good days. And then I was informed from the clinic that I must abstain from sex because I never mentioned that I was actually raped. I didn't tell them that I was actually raped. And then time went by. After a week or so, this man will just call me and say he wants me to do some work for him, some church work for him. He will call me in his lodge and say he wants me to bring some church files for him because I was his secretary. So, I was handling most of his stuff. So I will go to his lodge. When I get there, he will start just forcing himself on me. Till date, there was no name in this thing that was going on. There was no relationship going on between us. I just felt like he would just call me whenever he feels like he wants to release himself. Whenever he feels like his tank is full and he wants to release, he will just call me. And then in 2019 or 2020, last year, I'm not so sure, between the 2 years, I fell pregnant again. And then when I told him
second time you getting pregnant by him.
Yes.
The first time was a set of twins, which was terminated. Now you are 18. Now you finish high school. How old were you then? 20, 21?
Yeah, I was 20 going to 21.
Okay.
I was 20. Yeah, I was 20 years because in our culture, when you are 21, they do a grand 21st and all that. So I was 20 and then I got pregnant. And then he told me that I will run away and go to another country. And then I'll tell my mother that I got a scholarship and the scholarship made me to travel. I told him that to hell with everything that he's saying, because firstly, he wronged me. Instead of him manning up and calling my mother and telling him what he just did to me, he doesn't want. And then he made me to stand on top of the Bible and swear that I will never speak to anyone concerning this. And then he cursed. He said, if I speak or tell anyone this, I will suffer for the entire life. My mother will get sick and die. So when I told him that I was pregnant, he told me to run and all that. Then I told him that I won't be able to do that because I was still doing my university. I was in university. Then he told me that I must go and abort, just like that. And I aborted the second pregnancy again. Still the same doctor. So on that second time when I was 20, the doctor asked me, why do you keep on aborting this way? It's not good. I now explained my entire story to the doctor, that there is a so-so pastor, though I never mentioned the name of the pastor, but I mentioned the church and where the church is located. And then the doctor asked me, how am I planning to run away in all this? I said, I do not know, because this man has trapped me. He told me that this concerns my life. If I speak out, I don't even know right now, since I've told you what's going to happen to me, because this is what he was constantly saying, that if you speak, you will see what will happen to your life and everything. And then when I was 21, towards December, I told him that I don't want to continue to do this thing. If you will keep on forcing yourself on me like this, I'll end up speaking up to my mother. Whatever that happens, I don't care. If my mother dies, it's fine. I would have spoken out. And then he told me that he was going to stop. He won't do it again. But funny enough, this year, January, he did it. He literally forced himself on me. And then when I fought with him, and then he penetrated, but then I left the place because we're in his apartment. I literally left the place and ran away. And then I switched off my phone. When we get to church, I was not interacting to him the way we used to interact even before people, because he has this thing of pretending and all that. So I was just keeping a straight face for him to see that whatever that he did, I'm up to here. I'm tired. I'm really sick of it. And then on that same Sunday, he took me and put me in front of the church. The clip is still on Facebook. I can just send you the link so you watch it. He put me in front of the church and told the church that I have marine spirit. The church must pray for me because I have marine spirit. Apparently now I have marine spirit because I did not do what he wanted me to do. Since he got used to the fact that he would just be feeding himself on me and forcing himself on me. So just because I decided to put a stand, he told me that I have marine spirit. And then I just got tired and everything. And then I decided to leave the church. So till today, still telling people that I'm under marine spirits.
I wish I knew about that video. I would have actually uploaded it and played it, just so we could see the kind of person that he is. And by the way, for everybody watching, this same pastor was arrested a few weeks ago, and there's an investigation actually going on right now, and some sort of a DNA test that's been done, because somebody that Lucia here is familiar with was also a victim, and the case was reported to a police, and he was arrested, but then he got released, and not sure where he is right now, but there's an investigation going on. So we're not bringing you a story that is not credible. So we're not just bringing you accusations here. That's not what we do. That's not what I do here in Solomon's Temple. We're bringing you stuff that's been investigated, that is ongoing. There is a lot of substance to it. Even him, we tried to call him, but his phone is like switch off. It's like he's changed his number or something, because there's been a lot of pressure on him the last few weeks. So she's not the first victim. She's not the only victim. But let me backtrack a little bit, Lucia. When this whole thing started happening, why didn't you think about sharing this with anyone?
Because of the curse thing that he has put on me, and because I don't know whether it's because I had so much faith in God, and I believe that if a man of God curses you, then you become useless in life and all that. And I don't know whether it's because of the camouflage of him being a pastor and all that. I just don't know. At the moment, I was not even thinking about reporting or anything. But I can tell you that it was always in my mind to speak out, because I was dying every single day inside. But then because of the curse and the fear that was instilled in me, I was unable to.
Did he ever tell you he loved you and he would want to have a relationship with you or marry you? Has he ever used those words?
No, he has never. He only said it now. Like now, recently, that's what he's telling people, that he wanted to marry me. That is exactly what he's telling people now, but he has never said it to me.
Not once. Well, there's so many times that he has, had intercourse
No,
with you.
Instead, if you want to see that a man can really be wicked and disrespectful at the same time, this man will actually come to me and tell me that there's a woman he wants to marry. He was supposed to get married last year in April. There was a woman that he even told me, he's in Nigeria, the woman, she's in Nigeria. He told me that there's a woman that he wants to marry. So every single time, if there's a lady that he wants to propose to, he will tell me that there's a lady that he wants to propose to. But then when time goes by, you'll see that the thing does not work out. The thing that just dies like that.
How are we sure this man is not married in Nigeria? Because we have quite a lot of Nigerians who come to South Africa who actually left their wives back home, and they come here pretending they're not married, and then they get married here, maybe get papers or whatever, and then later on you discover they are married back home in Nigeria.
Yeah, that's true. We wouldn't know.
So now, when this happens, how many times would you say he did this to you, forcing himself on you?
I think I've even lost count. I've lost count. Should be from 2017, 18, 19. In
so
20
it's
years.
because you worked closely with him as part of the media team and also his secretary, right from your last year in high school. So where are some of the places where he did this to you?
It was in lodge. He used to stay in a lodge in Uval. He used to stay in a lodge in Uval, and he had an apartment in Balfour. That's where he used to stay, which he moved out this year, early this year.
And where else?
And also in the church and in the resident pastor's place.
Now tell me about the residence pastor. She is female and he's using her place to violate you. Who is the resident pastor? What's her name? Let's talk about her.
Her name is Evangelist J. Memeribe.
Is she South African, Nigerian?
Nigerian. They both come from the same state.
And how are we sure she's not aware of what he does to girls? And even herself, maybe she either was a victim or she was somebody that maybe his girlfriend.
Yeah, I know for a fact that she knows what this man is doing to ladies. And I know for a fact that she's also a victim, or still a victim even now, because they share a very close relationship. That's number one. And then for a resident pastor to be seeing all these things happening and for her to be keeping quiet, that means she's also protecting herself.
And I have a problem when a female doesn't really, a woman doesn't help other younger women when it comes to this kind of abuses and all that. Now, what was the process of him saying you're going to be cursed, that you should swear? Let's talk about the swearing first before we even talk about the cursing, where he would ask you to stand on the Bible and swear. What was that all about? How did that happen? Tell me about the process, and what did he say? What are his words exactly?
Okay, so it was the first pregnancy, right? It was the first pregnancy. So I was literally scared, because I did not even know what was going on and everything. So I was literally scared, and I don't know whether he felt like I was going to speak and probably tell someone, maybe a friend or something, that I'm pregnant or something, because this man used to monitor me. If I talk about monitoring, like if he calls me on phone and then maybe I'm speaking on phone, I'm at school, I'm in university, and he hears a background of a male voice, he's going to call on video call, or he's just going to lose it, like literally get angry and just lose it, to the point where you even suspend me in some of the duties that I'm doing in church. So on that day when he made me to swear on the Bible, he asked me to stand on it and swear that I will never tell anyone what is going on between us. I will never speak. I will keep it to me until I die. Because if I say anything to say to anyone, then your mother's life will be in danger. You know, God healed your mother. So if you want God to still save your mother, you will need to obey your prophet. He used the scripture on me that says, touch not mine anointed and do my prophets no harm. That's what he said to me. And then he told me that if you try any mistake and say anything to anyone, I will know. I'm a spiritual man. Whatever you do, I will know. If you're standing with someone or speaking to someone, I will know. So if you try to say to anyone, you will see how you will just useless your life.
But Lucia, it doesn't work like that scripturally in the Bible, where a man of God will curse you or you swear to sin. He just sinned against God and sinned against you and inflicted pain on you, and he is trying to protect himself and trying to tell you, if you do anything, this is what's going to happen to you. That's not it. That's witchcraft. That's not the Christian living. That's not the Christian way of life. That's witchcraft. So it's totally bringing witchcraft. We brought in fear into your life because he knows you're young. That is the highest level of wickedness, and we must all look at this. Everybody watching, there is no man of God that can curse you. There is no man of God that has an authority to curse you. Anybody man of God that says he wants to curse you, he's actually trying to tell you he's trying to use witchcraft on you. And you knowing your identity and your authority in Christ, you tell them no. You pray and dismiss it. It's as simple as that. They have no power to commit any evil against you until you permit them. And fear gives them permission. So you have no reason to live in fear. You have no reason to believe whatever, and he's trying to curse you and all that. Does he have friends? Who are his friends?
I don't think he has friends. I've never seen any of his friends. I only know his right-hand man, which is also his Nigerian brother.
Now, how did you feel every time he forced himself on you and you lived there? How did you feel about him? How did you feel about God? How did you feel about yourself?
Yeah, that's a very great question, because from the very first day this thing happened, my faith in God depreciated. Not even depreciate, it went off completely. Because when I got home, the first question I asked myself was like, so God literally allowed this entire thing to happen. So I've been keeping my virginity so that I can be raped by a man of God. Is that how it was supposed to be? So from the very first day it happened, I just lost faith. I was just going to church because I have to. Otherwise, I was no longer going for God. I was no longer going for anything, but I was just going because I have to. Because if I don't go, he's going to call me. Because I also used to have the church keys. So I used to lock and open the church. So the thing really affected me a lot. To the point whereby every time he does this intercourse, I'll be crying. Every time he does it, I'll be crying. And then every time I see men, there's just this disguise. I hated men with all my heart. And I used to tell him, because I used to have suitors that would come to church and say they want to marry me. I had 4 people that came to church, 2 pastors and 2 members that came to church and said they wanted my hand in marriage. And he will tell them that he will speak to me. And then when he comes to me, he will say, you can never get married. You're still a student. You're still in school. You're still young. You need to pursue your degree first. Forget marriage, this and that. And then in my mind, I'll be like, he says I should not get married. But then he still keeps on coming to feed on me. The same person is saying, I'm still young, I need to pursue my degree. So how am I actually pursuing it if he's constantly making me pregnant, making me abort? At least if I was married, all these things wouldn't have been a sin. So it got to a point where I just hated men with all my heart, with a passion. The thing really was eating me so much. so much that I think I suffered depression for 2 good years. That I was isolated and I was not speaking to anyone or everything. I only decided to open up this year. And I believe that I wouldn't have opened up had it been I never actually came across a victim that actually went through what I went through. So I think because of that victim that I actually encountered, that was the reason why I was able to speak out.
Now, tell me about, this is the pastor here that we're talking about. His name is, he calls himself Senior Prophet Kizito Amadi of DCC, Discipleship Church. This is their logo here, Discipleship Church of Christ in Hillbrow in Johannesburg. Tell me about, you waited until you were 18, you were still a virgin because you're preserving yourself, and then he took away your virginity. How did you feel when you know that? Because most 18-year-old like you have lost their virginity long time ago, especially,
Yeah, that's true.
In the kind of society we live in today. But you kept your virginity, and then a so-called man of God who you trusted forced himself on you. You're not in a relationship with him, never intended to be in a relationship. Forced someone you trusted, you saw him as a mentor, as a spiritual father, forced himself on you and took away a gift that you have for yourself and hopefully for your husband in future. How did you feel about that? Just the incident of him taking away your purity.
I literally do not know, but all I know is that I was shattered. I had the thoughts in my mind that I would have just, I shouldn't have kept it if I knew that such thing was going to happen in my life. I shouldn't have kept it. I should have just not went to church. I even regretted the day I stepped my foot in that church. The first day it happened, I regretted it with all my life. And I kept on telling him. I kept on telling him how much I hate men. I kept on telling him how much I regret coming into this church. And every time I would speak like that, he would tell me that it's not me that is speaking, I'm double. It's actually a demon that is speaking through me.
Pure manipulation and deception there. But you managed to go to school, and are you graduated from university now?
No, I'm doing my last year.
Okay, what are you studying?
Business administration.
That's good. So you're studying, which is a good thing. You never really allowed that to break you up. Did you ever have any sort of suicidal thoughts or?
Yes, I did a lot. I've attempted to commit suicide almost, if not 10 times. Then I've lost count. I've attempted every time I'll come from his place or the church or wherever. Every time he just enters me and comes out. When I reach home, it's all suicidal thoughts. I've tried to do the medication one. I've taken almost 50 medication at once. I just mixed all the medication that we had at home, tablets, and I tried to take them. Instead, I thought I was going to die. That's what I wanted. But then it didn't happen. I just felt sick and I started vomiting. And then I think I vomited the entire medication out. And then I tried again, still the same method of medication. Throughout, I've been trying it, and there was just nothing happening. And I was getting more and more frustrated.
Which is very sad, where trying to take your life for a reason that was not created by you, but by somebody who you trusted, someone who called himself a man of God. And it's quite pathetic and sad that a lot of young women like you go through that. Some people go through depression and they never recover. Some people go through isolation from God, from anything concerning God, and they never step their foot back in church again. And they begin to live a life that they don't care about anything. And you see them getting into, practices and behaviors that is totally ungodly. But somewhere they were wounded, and somehow someone inflicted a pain on them. And you made mention of your Ubaba. What happened between you and Ubaba? Was that your father? Was that your stepfather?
No, it was my real dad. I was I think I was 12. I was 12 or 13. He also attempted to rape me, but he was just touching my thighs. Not that he penetrated, but he was just doing all those uncomfortable acts. Yeah.
And when this pastor, the prophet, now did that on you, it reminded you of what you experienced and when you were 13.
Exactly. And on the day we joined the church, me and my mom actually told him the story of my father. So I never really expected him to do that, because I told him how my dad almost did, but he did not. He almost, because he was holding me all those uncomfortable touches and all that. And we told him, the prophet, when we entered the church. So I never really expected such acts from him.
Now, you decided to come out, but there's a story behind it for you to even have the motivation to come out to your mother. Why did you come out to your mother?
The reason why I decided to speak out, it's I think I mentioned that it was because I encountered a victim also. So, because all along I've been thinking that I'm the only one.
Another of his victims.
Yes. The same victim who opened a case for him, the case that is ongoing now.
Okay, we're gonna talk about the case, but talk about how you came out to your mother.
Okay, so after speaking to the lady that also encountered the same thing, then I just decided to text my mother and speak to her and just drop the bomb, because I know it's something that's gonna shock her and hurt her so much, because she also trusted the prophet. She didn't expect such from him.
How did she feel about it when you shared that with her?
She was actually broken. She cried. She was so broken to the point whereby, because she actually trusted me. That's how the relationship we had, me and her, was so strong. So she believed that I'm sharing everything with her. So I think she just felt a bit of betrayal coming from me, that I've been going through all this thing alone and I never shared it with her, because my mother still thought, even now at 22, that I'm still a virgin. So little did she know that I'm no longer a virgin, and it's not even in my own terms, but because I was molested by a person that she also trusted. So she really felt shattered, and she just advised me that I should leave the church, and she will also leave because she just can't bear to look at that man again.
When was that? When did you tell her?
I told my mom it was in January, I think on the 29th or 30th of January.
And tell me about the friend who opened the case that led to his arrest, and there's investigation going on now, even though he is not under detention.
Okay, she's my close friend, and we work hand in hand. We used to work hand in hand in church. So she's married. She's a married woman with 3 children. So
she's a married woman with 3 children.
Yeah, she's a married woman with 3 children.
And he was doing all that to her.
Yeah. So apparently, it's like the 3rd child. The 3rd child is not for the husband. Yes. The 3rd child is not for the husband, but it's for him. It is for this man. So what happened was that when he realized that the girl is pregnant, she gave the girl money to go and abort, but the girl did not abort because it was actually too late for her to abort. The stomach was like 5 months or 6 months or so. So the last child of the girl is for him. So when the husband went to do DNA tests, because the rumors were now trending and everything was now showing, so the wife decided to speak out. And then they went to the police station and opened a case, and they did DNA test with the husband, and the child was not a match with the husband. They did DNA test with him, the prophet. So which the results, I think, are coming next week, because it was the government results. So I think the results will come next week, and then they will see. But he's still under all his documents, the passports and everything, they're under police custody.
So the police have taken away. Oh, let's even backtrack. So There was suspicion. The woman is a married woman. He's been, forcing himself on her. She never told anyone. Got pregnant. Gave her money to abort. Didn't abort because it was too late. Now the husband have done a DNA test for the third child that he had with his wife and discovered that the baby is not his baby.
Yes, it's not a match.
So the two kids are his, but the third kid is not his. So it's somebody else's baby.
Exactly.
And she said, well, this is the man that has been forcing himself on me, the prophet. And now they took maybe his blood too or whatever to go do a DNA test. That's what they're waiting for right now, right?
Yes.
Or maybe his saliva or his hair or whatever. I know they can.
They took the saliva.
Yeah. So now when he went to the police, when the police went to him, they took away his passports and everything. He's under police custody.
Yes, because he was arrested in church. The police came and collected him from church. It was a church service. They came and collected him inside church.
Okay. Okay.
And so they kept the documents with them, which is the passport for him, so that I don't know whether he doesn't get to flee the country or something until the results are out. Yeah.
Yes. But he's a criminal, he's a crook, so he's going to create another way of fleeing the country if he wants. I wouldn't be surprised he hasn't fled yet, because that's going to be, he knows that if he gets arrested, he's going to go into prison for a long time. He's going to go away for a long time. So he's just going to do the Bushiri style and run away. I wouldn't be surprised. But you got invited to the police station to write a statement. What was that about?
I got invited there because the lady that opened the case actually mentioned my name. So I don't know whether in the statement when she was writing, I think the police asked if she thinks there's another victim that is also went through the same thing. And then she mentioned my name and told them that I actually spoke to her, which was this year. The same time I spoke with my mother, I also spoke to her. And she also told me her own story, and I told her my own story. So I got invited to the police station. I went there, and they took down my statement.
Okay. And do you intend to open your own case? Because I feel you have a case. You have a strong case. There's a lot of atrocities that happened to you through this man. You were a virgin, 18-year-old, and he just kept using you as a slave over and over again, use you and abuse you just because you trust him. So are you going to open a case, or are the police going to investigate your issue also? Can you hear me?
I honestly don't know what is actually delaying them, because I believe that after giving out that statement, the very next day or the same day, I would have been given a case number. But I was not given a case number. Yes, I can.
You have to try and go and open your own case, not supporting affidavit to her own case.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. So you have to try to open your own case. It shouldn't be you just supporting her own case. So you're giving a supporting affidavit. No. But here you are trying to open your own case. This is what happened to me. This is my story. And I think for me, that's what I would encourage you to do right now. Open a case as soon as possible, because you have a case. When you have so many cases against him, you have to have your own case, not riding on her own case. Her own case is different. Your own case is different. That way we can get other girls who have experienced the same thing, could now oh wow, if they're opening their cases, despite the threats and the curses and the stuff that he has asked us to swear about, we're not afraid of him anymore. So you're breaking the cycle of fear, just so other girls can come out too and go and open a case.
Okay, I will do so.
So please go and find out, and please let me know. I need to know. I want to follow up and support you on that. So for you right now, what's the way forward? How do you feel? What's the way forward? Have you received any sort of counseling?
No, I haven't.
Because you need counseling.
I do.
You will need counseling. That's very important. And I'll have to try to arrange that for you. Or if any counselors who are here, even if you're not in South Africa or whatever part of the world you are, if you're a professional, I need a professional counselor, not just a counselor. I know a couple of professional counselors, but I'm giving people the opportunity. If you're a professional counselor, wherever you are, you can always do counseling via Zoom or whatever. Please let me know, just so we can really, because there are a lot of issues that you might think you've forgotten or you've gone past it, but it's going to be there, and until you deal with it, you're going to struggle with it later on in your relationship with men, in your relationship with church, in your relationship with your husband when you get married, and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So what do you want to say to a lot of young girls who go to church and trust their pastors, or young girls that have been one way or the other been abused and they don't want to speak out? What do you want to say to them? Your last word.
Well, because my last words, because I have 2 younger siblings and they are both girls. So I would say to any young girl or any lady or woman that is out there, whenever you go to church, always know that you are going to church. Don't start building a relationship with the pastor. Like, don't start working in his office or working closely to him. These men, they come here as pastors, camouflaged as pastors, but there's a lot that goes on behind closed doors. And when such thing happens to you, I believe a person needs to speak out. It's never too late to speak out. I believe so. It's never too late. There is no sin. I mean, there's no there's no time where you say it happened years ago, so no one will believe me. There's no evidence and all that. It's never too late. The matter of fact is that you were molested, you were violated, and it was never your agreement. It was never in your knowledge. So you just have to speak out. That's it.
Thank you, and please put me, keep me in the loop with the case. Whatever happens to your case or the case of your other friend, or the police. If the police is not doing their job, then we need to expose that, just so they're going to be able to, because at the end of the day, you don't want a crisis where the police will be bribed and the case will just disappear or go away. We're not going to allow that. We're going to take this to wherever we need to take this to. But I want to thank you, and may God continue to bless you. May He help you to deal with this. As a young lady, may you come out of it stronger. And